Namaskar everybody and welcome to the Geeta Satsang for today. So let us start with the Prarthana. By the Guru's grace and the will of Sri Krishna, we have all assembled for this Geeta Satsang. May we have their guidance to be able to learn and adopt things which will help us to grow spiritually. Let us chant the Shlokas. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namostu Te Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Ramanujadayapatram Jnanavairagyabhushanam Srimadvenkatanathaaryam Vande Vedantadeshikam Yo Nityamachyutapadambujayukmarukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmadgurur Bhagavatosya Dayaikasindhoho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapatye. So with prayers at the lotus feet of the Acharyas, let us start our satsang. So we had seen up to the 5th shloka of the 3rd chapter. So today we will continue with the 6th shloka. Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna and trying to explain to him about Karmayoga. So in the 6th verse, he says, Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyachara sa uchyate. Those who restrain means control. Those who control the external organs of action, the karmendriyas, while continuing to dwell on sense objects in the mind, certainly delude themselves and are to be called hypocrites. So this word hypocrite or hypocrite is supposed to indicate a person who has kind of double standards, that they say one thing and they do another. So what is Krishna explaining here? We saw in the previous shloka how he talked about the importance of performing actions, and performing those actions will lead us to control of the rajo and tamo gunas, or will reduce the rajo tamo gunas, will increase sattva guna, and because of that we will get closer to be able to have atma sakshatkara. Now there are some people, what they do, they will say they want to do spiritual practice, they want to have knowledge, jnana, they want to do jnana yoga. So what is this jnana yoga? It is having atma sakshatkara. So to understand about the atma, they will say that I am going to do dhyana, meditation. I will meditate on the self. So for that, they will find a quiet place. They will close their eyes. They will make sure no sound is reaching them. And they will sit quietly trying to engage their mind in dhyana. Now, to be able to do this, they have given up their actions. They are not doing any karma. So they are supposedly going into meditation and trying to contemplate on the Atma. But what will happen if a person is doing this if he is not having control over the mind and senses? Although he is physically sitting still, the mind will still be running in all directions. The attachment of the senses to the worldly objects is not overcome. So, although externally he appears to be quiet and sitting quietly, but the mind will keep running behind all those thoughts which are coming. And what are those thoughts about? They are about worldly things. So, such a person, if the senses and the mind are not in his control, although he appears to be a Vairagya person, a Vairagi, he appears to be a detached person, still actually his mind is caught up still in the same old worldly level things. So, will such a person be able to actually get the objective which he wants? Why he is doing dhyana? Because he wants to have Atma Sakshatkara. Will he be able to achieve that objective if this is his condition? Definitely not. So, this kind of behavior is what the Lord is calling as mithyachara or hypocrisy. So, the person is having one thought, but the actual reality of what is happening is something else. So, if the person has got the senses under control, if the mind is under control, if all these are focused completely on the Atma, then only that Atma will proceed further. But that is easier said than done, isn't it? It's so difficult to control the mind. We have tried, when we try to sit and do meditation itself, it takes us so much time to actually quiet the mind, because you will find that maybe when you were going around doing your other actions only, you had less thoughts. The minute you stop all your other actions and you sit saying that you will do dhyana, all the thoughts in the world will start coming at that time only. Your mind will just run behind one and the other thing, and it will be very difficult to focus. Why is this happening? Because those thoughts are coming from our rajotamo gunas. And why that rajotama guna is predominant in us? Because we are having a lot of figuratively lot of dirt. What is that? The papa punyas, all those things which are there in our account. So what happens is, until we have done something to reduce our rajotama gunas, we will not have the sattvikata which is necessary for the mind to be able to focus. So, if you say that I will do dhyana and you sit to do that, and then externally you are appearing quiet and focused, but actually your mind is running in all directions, then that person is practicing mithyachara. That person is a hypocrite. So, the eyes and ears may be closed, but they are not under his control. So, there are instances where it appears like there is somebody who is so much in the world, they are doing so many actions in the world, and you think, why these people are involved in so much activity, why they are doing all these things, why don't they sit quietly and meditate, isn't it? But then it is not about externally whether they are doing action or not doing action. What we need to look at is about the state of the mind internally, what is happening. So, just to illustrate this, one example, one story is told. There was once a situation, there were two people, two friends, and they wanted to, two friends or two brothers, let us say, it will be easier for us to narrate the story. Two brothers. They were supposed to go and attend one Bhagavatam class. One satsang was going on, a discourse was going on. So Srimad Bhagavata was being taught in that discourse, that pravachana. They wanted to go and attend that. So as they were going on the way, there was a sudden rain which came. So there was a downpour. They were forced to take shelter, and the only place in that road where they were going was a house of ill repute. It was a place where there were prostitutes. So they were forced to seek shelter in that building. So they went into that building. Now, when they were there, after some time, the elder brother, he thought, I have to go for the Bhagavatam. What is the point of standing here, and this is not a nice place? So let me go off. And he got wet in the rain and he ran away. He ran and went to the place where the Bhagavatam was. The other brother thought, how I can get wet in the rain, then it will be so uncomfortable. It will be difficult for the other people also there, because then they will get, I will take all this water and go into that place. So let me be here, let the rain stop, then I will go. And he stayed there, the younger brother. Now, this, after some time, what happened is, this younger brother who was in that house, in that building, he started thinking, maybe I should have also gone like my elder brother to the Bhagavatam place. So what if I was wet? At least I would have got to enjoy that Bhagavata. I would have listened to the glories of the Lord. I should have been there. I did a wrong thing by staying back here. Um, Even now it is not too late. I should go. I should listen to Bhagavata. I should listen to Bhagavata, like that. He kept having those thoughts. And finally he said, okay, no matter, let it be raining so much also. I will also go there. And he started walking towards the Bhagavatam pravachana. In the meantime, the elder brother who had gone to that Bhagavatam place, he sat there and then he thought, I came here, but see my brother, God knows he's in that place. Maybe he must be having a good time in that place and enjoying himself. I came here. This is only one pravachana. I'm simply sitting here listening. It's so boring. I should have also stayed back with my brother there. He thought like that. And he got so this thing that he started walking back from the Bhagavatam class to that place. Now, as both of those people were walking, they met up there. Okay. And at that moment, there was a sudden bolt of lightning which struck both of them, and both of them died. Now, at that point of time, the Yamadutas came there and they caught hold of this elder brother, who was the one who went through the rain to the Bhagavatam class. So he said, you're catching the wrong person. I am not the one who should be taken to Naraka. I went to the Bhagavatam class. It was my brother who stayed back in that wrong place. You should take him, not me. So then they told him, although he was in that place, he was pining to listen to the Bhagavata Upanyasa, to the Bhagavatam Pravachana. He was only thinking that about the glories of the Lord and how he is missing it. Whereas you were sitting in the Bhagavata class, but you were thinking about enjoying the pleasures which your brother you thought was enjoying in that place. So what this story teaches us that what you are doing externally is not as important, or it is less important than what is your internal condition of your mind. Now, this does not mean that you should go into a wrong place and sit there and think of Bhagavata. Please, I hope the meaning is clear. That if we are forced sometimes to be in situations which are not very appropriate, never mind that situation. Keep our mind fixed on God. That is what is important to us. Rather than going and sitting in a satsang, sitting in a pravachana, sitting in the temple, and thinking of other worldly enjoyments. So that is what Krishna is explaining here, that somebody who has not focused his mind and senses on the Lord, on the Atma, and instead he is only externally appearing to do dhyana, this is not the right way to proceed. It is hypocrisy. It is mithyachara. Now, in the next shloka, Krishna explains further. So he has told one set of people. Who are these people? They are saying that they want to practice jnana yoga. They are saying they don't want to do any karmas. They are saying they will do dhyana and they will focus their attention on the Atma, and they are sitting, but actually their mind and senses are running here and there. That is one category of people. In the seventh shloka, he is talking about who are those other category of people and why they are superior to the first category. So in the seventh shloka, Krishna says, Yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabaterjuna karmendriyai karmayogam asaktasya vishishyate. So he says, those, O Arjuna, those karma yogis who control their knowledge, their senses with the mind, these people, they engage the working senses, the karmendriyas, in working, and how they work without asakti, without attachment. They are certainly vishishya, they are superior. So what he's trying to tell Arjuna here, that you may not be able to do dhyana, you may not be able to practice jnana yoga, that will come later. But at this, whatever your stage is right now, you perform actions because action, karma, is something which is familiar to us. We have already seen in the previous shlokas. We talked about how, right from the time the baby is born up till the time that the old man or woman dies, we are constantly performing actions, known to us, unknown to us, with intention, without intention. We are always performing karma. That is very familiar for us. But controlling the mind and senses, focusing on the Atma, doing dhyana, practicing jnana yoga, that is something which is not familiar to us. So why should we struggle to gain mastery over something which is not familiar when it is going to be difficult? Instead, do what is familiar to you. And as you keep doing that and doing it in the right way, you will find it easier to subdue the mind and senses, and you will go ahead on your journey. Then you will reach the state of Jnana Yoga. So here, the Acharya Vedanta Deshikar, in his commentary, he explains very clearly that we don't have control on our mind and senses. So we have to keep doing actions. But what kind of actions? What is the intention behind my actions? What is the purpose of my actions? That will decide how soon I go ahead, how soon my Rajatama guna has become less, how soon I increase my Sattva guna, how soon I get to the stage where my mind and senses will come under my control. So we have already talked about this also previously. I do those actions. I'm anyway doing actions throughout my life. I'm going on performing karma. But I must do the actions in such a way that they become karma yoga. And when it will become karma yoga, if my actions are such that they are the ones prescribed by the Shastras. Already in the Shastras, the Lord has told that this is what is right, this is what is wrong. You should do this, you should not do this. So if I keep doing all those actions which the Lord has prescribed, I will become whatever I am looking for. I will be able to control my mind and senses. So such a person will be able to do these actions and then progress towards Jnana Yoga. So here the commentator gives the example. Like, suppose let us say, I want to walk, okay, because it is a form of exercise, I think, and walking is going to give me the physical benefit of walking. So if there is one person who every day goes out and takes a walk for half an hour in the park, this is one person. He is doing karma. And let's say there is another person who walks for half an hour, and in that half an hour, he walks to the temple and he does some seva in the temple. Or there is another person who walks to the orphanage or old age home and he does something to serve those people there with the bhava that these are also the children of God. They are all my bandhus. And because they are also, the Lord is there in all of them, I want to do something to help them. Now, out of these two people, both are doing karma. But the first person who only walked in the park for his physical health is only doing karma. The second person who walked to the temple and did seva, who walked to the orphanage and did seva, with the bhava that I am doing this for the love of the Lord. I am doing this because this will please the Lord. That person is doing karma yoga. Such a karma yoga such a karma yogi is a superior person. And when a person keeps doing all actions like this, then he will get control of the mind and senses. Right now, we don't have control. So let us try to do all our actions in this manner. You remember the same old shloka of the Mukundamala, where we said, O tongue, sing the glories of the Lord. O hands and legs, go to the temple, serve the Lord. O head, bow down at the feet of the Lord. Right? O ears, hear the glory of the Lord. O eyes, look at the form of the Lord. So like this, because it is very difficult for us to do some action and be detached from that action. The minute we start doing something, automatically there is an expectation that starts coming in it, isn't it? Many times, if not anything, we have an unstated expectation. I did something and I want either somebody to acknowledge that or to appreciate that, or at least I want that they should not put me down saying you did that like that, right? So even that is an expectation. I did all this and instead of praising me, they are saying like this, or at least they should have just kept quiet, but they are saying bad things to me, isn't it? All these are expectations in our mind. So we need to get to a stage where we are able to do the actions without any such expectations. Again, for that, it will need the Lord's grace. And how we will need the Lord's grace, how we will get the Lord's grace? When we do things which are pleasing to the Lord. So it is not about saying, I will control this expectation. I will stop expecting from other people. It is very easy to say, but it is very difficult to practice. And that will not come unless our sattvic guna increases and our rajotamo gunas decrease. So again, we come back to that same, thing of what Krishna has told, the steps to take to go ahead. First, you start doing karma. You start doing karma with the right bhava. You start doing all your karma as offering to the Lord. You start doing your karma with the bhava that the Lord is doing it through you. You do those actions which are pleasing to the Lord. You stop doing those actions which are unpleasing to which are displeasing the Lord. And when you start doing all this and you pray before every action and do with the bhava that Lord is getting it done through you, slowly, 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 our sattvikata will start increasing. Slowly, 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 our rajotama gunas will start decreasing. And when we do like this, then we will be able to do our actions in such a way that we have no expectation. And slowly, or at least we will have less expectations in the beginning, our expectations will start reducing. And then after that, somewhere we will go to the stage without expectation. This, when we are able to practice and we do all our actions like this, then what we are doing is practicing Karma Yoga. So, what is it that we need to be learning from these shlokas? Many times we feel that we are trying so much, but we seem to be getting nowhere. You don't worry about that. We just need to be doing what we know has been taught to us by Krishna. The result will appear after a long time, because all these rajatamatmaka gunas which are within us, all these samskaras which are there in us, because of which we behave a particular way, they have come from so many janmas of ours. It is not going to get erased within a few days, within a few weeks, or even a few months. It will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of effort from our side. But more importantly, it will take the Lord's grace. Only when His kripa falls on us, we will be able to actually go ahead. So we must pray for His grace to be on us. And at the same time, we need to keep doing whatever we can do. When both of those steps are done together, then we will find some change coming. You've heard that example which is given, no, about the bamboo tree. For so many months, for so many years, that bamboo tree just goes, it is just there underground, and it appears like it is not growing, nothing is happening. And suddenly, one fine day, after so many years, it will, you will find that it has shot up into the air, and then it will have come up so high. So similarly, whatever we are doing, every small action that we do repeatedly, it will keep having its effect gradually. So we must not think that, oh, I'm doing so much, but I'm not able to control the senses in my mind. It will happen. It will come. It will come. We need to keep praying to the Lord to bless us, and we need to keep doing whatever we can do. And we need to try and engage all our actions towards the Lord. So those are conscious choices that we need to take. Just to give an example, uh, actually, I had not managed to prepare for this satsang until today afternoon. And even then, I was busy with something else and I got caught up in reading something which was very interesting. And then suddenly I remembered that, oh, I have not prepared for the satsang. For a minute, there was a thought that came in the mind that maybe can I postpone the satsang to tomorrow? But the very next instant, by the Lord's grace, the stronger thought came that this is a very flimsy reason to postpone the satsang. Even if there is just 1 hour left, it's okay. I will prepare and we will have the satsang. So that in that split second, when we make a choice, it is again the Lord's grace which gives us the ability to make the right choice. So it was quite possible that I would have said, it's okay, I have not yet prepared. I will do it slowly later in the day today and we can have the satsang tomorrow. There would have been nothing wrong if I had just said tomorrow is satsang instead of today. It would have made no difference in any way. But in the deepest of my heart, I would have known that I had a choice. And I did not make the right choice if I had done that. But then it is the Lord's grace that although that thought comes why? Because of the Rajasic Tamasic quality. Because still there are samskaras in our mind. There is still desire to read something interesting. So until that goes, we have to put our effort also, and we have to also pray that the Lord's grace should be on us. So if the Lord's grace had not been there, I would have probably taken the other decision. We would not be sitting here discussing all these things right now. So at every point in our life, we have situations where it appears like we have a choice. And then at those moments, we need to make sure that we take the right decision. What is right versus what is pleasant to us? That decision we have to make. When we keep doing that repeatedly, somewhere God's grace will start flowing towards us also, because He will see that, oh, this bhakta of mine is trying. And when He sees that you are trying, then He is pleased. And He will come and make sure that you get slowly, the negative things go away from you and you get filled with more positivity. So to ultimately we need to therefore see what is our stage right now. We are definitely at the level where our senses, our mind are not in our control. So we must do all our actions with the bhava that performing this karma yoga is going to take me ahead in the future. Slowly I will gain control. Slowly I will start doing it. Now, does it mean that if we are in, let us say we are in the habit of sitting down to meditate or sitting down to chant, hmm, does it mean I should stop doing that and then just start doing some actions? No, because for us at our level, even if I say I will sit, I will hold japmala in my hand and I will do chanting, it is not jnana yoga. It is still karma yoga only, because we are doing the action of chanting the Lord's name, right? What Krishna is talking here about, the person who wants to practice Jnana Yoga, is about somebody who wants to empty the mind of all things and who wants to focus on the Atma and have Atma Sakshatkara. That is a different thing. So, if we are even now struggling to do Dhyana, we are struggling to do Japa, we must continue to struggle with that. That should be our path. We are going to do the action and we will struggle to do whatever it takes. And we will pray to the Lord that He will bless us to guide us through this stage also. So I hope I did not confuse you and explained whatever Krishna is telling to whatever extent it is possible. So in the sixth shloka, Krishna said that if somebody is trying to only externally stop the action while the mind is continuously thinking about the sense objects, then they are not doing the right thing. They are just hypocrites. So they are living in a false world. They have deluded themselves. In the seventh shloka, he said, those people who try to engage their senses in working, in doing karma yoga without attachment, those people are superior to the first category of people who stop the action and try to concentrate the mind but don't succeed. So we have two categories of people. One is those who stop the action and try to focus the mind on the Atma. The other are the people who keep doing the actions without attachment as an offering to the Lord. They are the second category, are the Karma Yogis, and they are certainly superior to the hypocrites who are just pretending or acting as if they are doing some great sadhana. So we have come to the end of our satsang topic for today. Let us offer gratitude, Kritagnata, at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and Guru for inspiring us to start and join this satsang. And let us pray for their blessings and grace on us to always be on us. Namaskar, everybody. Thank you for attending. So we will meet again in the next satsang next week again on Thursday. Thank you, Zarnaji, Chudamani Mami, Ranjini ji, Ramdas Aure, Tulsiram Aure. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Namaskar.